Kyle here from All Media Reviews, here to do one of the updates and concert reviews, I guess. So I have some vinyl to show, and unfortunately, and some CDs. Fortunately, compact disc are right here. One of the CDs I thought I got, I don't know what happened to from last night, but so so last night I showed a little video on social media of this new record from the band Boil and Lead, King of the Dogwoods. Boil and Lead's a local band from Minnesota, but they've been around since like late mid '80s, something like that. Todd Menton, I got a few of them to sign it. Unfortunately, they've had some losses in the band. One most notably is David Stencil, the violinist. But I don't know how to describe them. They're sort of like a mixture of Irish folk rock, kind of jammy, punky at points, but they're all really good musicians. Drew Miller, the bassist. Todd Menton's the main guy. He's the singer and guitarist. Dean McGraw, though, played with them at one point. He's on a couple of their records, at least one, maybe two records. That was how I initially got into them, although my friend John was more into them. I once saw Todd Menton near my mother-in-law's place when Joyce and I were living near there. I don't know what he was doing. He was near the laundromat. It was weird, but they played the whole new record in reverse. They had this new violinist and singer named Olson. What's her name? Kaylee Olson, something like that. Not Kaylee Olson. Um, but this new record of theirs, the stuff on it was really good. And John Wright of Lado and Wright, um, like mixed this maybe and or produced it. Haley Olson rather. Yeah. Morris Engels, the drummer. Drew Miller, of course, bass. He played some. I'll talk about the show in a minute. He played some theremin at the show too. But It was great. I didn't buy this just for the splatter on that. But I mean, there's a band locally that's probably received slightly more acclaim and success named Trampled by Turtles. My friend John likes them. I don't hate Trampled by Turtles, but I just feel like Boil and Lead I've always liked more. And people don't talk about them maybe quite as much. But anyway, um, oops, geez, I'm having a fun time with this, but at the back of that record. But yeah, she joined when David Sensel passed away. But it was like in 2021, 2022. I know I posted a photo of him and everything. He was in some other bands, David Stencil too. Other Contra Ensemble, and then there was one other one. Um, but yeah, this is. I mean, it's sort of a concept. Oh, maybe I don't know. They played it in reverse live, but this album King of the Dogwoods. So, and I have this set left. Let me get the insert here. This um, uh, vinyl, of course. Um, I have the. Well, I'll just show the rest of the vinyl. So, this is a record I ordered. I don't know. It was like a little over a month ago. I'd seen a little ad for it. This is Bent Knees. Wasn't I guess you could say in some ways it was their breakthrough record, and this is a not a no, like a it's a repressed or newly pressed record. Shiny Head Babe 10th anniversary edition. So it came out. I want to say this is 2014. This is Bent Knees' second album. Some people consider it their best. I kind of agree with that, and it's a big gatefold. It might be a double. Bent Knee, the progressive or art rock band formed from being friends at Berklee College of Music in Boston. Saw many times. They have other records I like. I got into them about 10 years ago. Um, yeah, look at this clear vinyl. But this is the 10th anniversary. Oh, it's a clear slash. Yeah. This record has, I mean, the China Night Babies. There's one song on here I always think of. These are the 2024 mixes. Yeah, but it was so 2014 when it came out. I didn't know. I'd heard their name. That was probably the first time I really saw their name. Actually, Bentley was in 2014, but I didn't actually get into them until 2024. I just remember that on Progressive Ears, which is a message board I used to frequent somewhat. I haven't been back to, mostly because my account doesn't let me log in. Doesn't let me reset my password or log in. But there's a song on here though. It's called like um, Battle Creek, I think it is. Being Human, Skin. I'm trying to remember the other tracks on here. Maybe Battle Creek's not on this one. I thought it was on. Maybe it's on the one that came out after this. But anyway, this I remembered compared to the two records after, which I like. Land Animal was the two after. That was in 2016. Um, was that in 20? No, that was like 2017. Get the name of the one between. I have it upstairs in my. But I have those other two records on vinyl too. So those are the sort of three peak Shiny Eyed Babies and um, Land Animal in this one. And what is it called? It's like Way One Through It or something like that. It's gonna bug me. I can use the old Google. Um, from 2016. That was the year I got married. Um, Say So. That's what it is. They also put out an EP called Leak Water, but my cat is playing with his food, or at least not happy with what food he's got. Um, Say So. So those are the three. I mean, they put out a record after Land Animal. I think Animal was like 2017. The title track I really love on that record, but I mean, they're kind of schizophrenic. They get heavy at times. They had an album called like Frost or something like that, or something like that, where they went into hyper pop. And then the last record, I didn't even get a chance to listen to much. They had like one song. I don't know if they jumped the shark. They had a bunch of members that left. That was part of it. The guitarist, especially Ben Levin. So, but yeah, this is good to have on vinyl. Having like sort of, I'd like to have a first pressing, but it's fine. First pressing. Big gatefold for Bent Knees, Shiny Eyed Babies. So, so the Esperanza Spalding show I went to, and I ended up picking up some stuff at that. And I'm gonna talk about the show in a minute. So I did get the most recent one she got, Milton and Esperanza, Milton Nascimento, which has a few covers on this. Well, a bunch of covers, but some of them were songs that he had done. Because this guy, he's from, I want to say like Colombia. I forget where, somewhere in South America, I think. But yeah, it's a gatefold. The two of them got together. Although I'm not sure if this is entirely him and Esperanza Spalding or like someone else, like maybe his wife or someone he played with, because I don't know how old he is. He's maybe in his 80s or something like that. He goes back to the 70s, maybe even the 60s, at least the 70s. But this came out a couple years ago. It's like 2024, and they even do what a Beatles track on here. Across the Universe. Late September. I don't know if that's Earth, Wind, and Fire. They reference a bunch of jazz interpretations, but they do Earth Song from Michael Jackson, which is my favorite Michael Jackson song. But I mean, I like it. It's different, and like I haven't heard a lot of it is his music. That's really what it is. Is I don't know if they wrote any like new music, but a lot of it's Milton Nascimento's music, just reinterpreted or redone for this record. Yeah, I guess that is Esperanza. It's kind of weird to look at that. Um, and yeah, assuming this is the same track list because I remember getting the download for this. A Day in the Life. That's right. They did a Beatles. They did a Day in the Life for the Beatles. Oh, geez, I'm looking at this. Oh, that's right. So this is standard black, but like pressing. But I know they do Earth Song and of course I can't see anything. I got to go to the optometrist. I got to get new glasses. I got my prescription. Um, oh, credits on here. I mean, I haven't read through all the credits on here. I mean, this was a good record. I wasn't like gung ho enough to buy it at the time, but it's definitely a case where I'm at a concert, I will often buy, and there were other motivations. I'll buy something from the artist, the artist I'm seeing. Paul Simon's Vento Passo is on this too. Um, she really admires him. I mean, oh my god, like they had an orchestra for this. They had it's like a I don't know 20 piece for some of these pieces, some of these songs. So I mean, Esperanza wrote this whole thing. I mean, thank you, Batuka. So um, part of the reason why, like I said, I bought this. I mean, I wanted it. I guess it would be good to have in the collection. I suppose it's like I want to be careful how much I buy for it. But they gave a percentage of it, or most of it, toward this organization that fights for rights. I have the card upstairs. They're talking about the ICE stuff and everything like that. But so then I end up buying some other stuff there. I mean, the scene. And I'll talk about that in a minute here. Esperanza was a really big deal because I'd been wanting to see her for like almost 10 years. But I did pick up these CDs. A copy of Emily's Plus De-Evolution, which that came out the same year. I got into this right around the same time I got into Say So from Bent Knee. And this and 12 Little Spells, which I have on vinyl right over there. I brought that, but I didn't actually get to meet her. I didn't hang around, but I didn't have the CD, so now I have the CD. This may be, she's done a lot of different styles, but closest thing she did to prog, you could say, yeah, this came out in, yes, in 2016. And then I picked up, here's the back. There's a bunch of songs on here I like. Judas, what is that? Funk the Fear, One, I Want Now. This is a great record. Very progressive, And then I got this CD, Chamber Music Society, which came out, that was 2016. This was like 2010, 2009. This is the CD that she got, like, had come out that she got the Grammy for, in effect. It wasn't for this CD specifically, although she might have won a Grammy for this too, but I can't read this. It's such small print. But Best New Artist, the hype sticker even says that. Why do they always have... Yeah, it's 2010. Which, I think so it would have been maybe the 2011 Grammys or 2012. The Grammys are all screwed up with the years, but she beat out Justin Bieber. So that's all you need to know is like that's when he popped up. Jay-Z discovered him and stuff like that. But no one had heard, including most people in popular music didn't know him. But I have not listened to this maybe more than a couple times online, but it's been a long time. But this is more, from my impressions, more straight jazz, like post-bop, that kind of thing. The hype sticker on here says, gives that detail about it being 53rd Grammy Award Best New Artist. The freshness and excitement of her approach have led to her being called the new hope for jazz. This predates Kamasi Washington and everything like that, of course. But, so I'm transitioning on to that show. Yeah. Here's a set list. I was at the Dakota, like, it was the weekend after Valentine's weekend was the weekend after. It was a great break because of everything that I'd been going through, seeing that woman Laura and everything like that, and I just, I'd been looking, I saw this when the tickets for this show went on sales back, maybe November. I missed it by a few days. I just stumbled on it. It was bands in town, one of the email lists or something, I forget. So I didn't get the best seat, but, and it wasn't cheap. It was well over $100 to see this, but I been wanting to see her. I told Joyce I wanted to see her for a long time, and she just wouldn't come here. She played like Twin Cities Jazz Festival a few other times, but she didn't do you think winning the Grammy and extensive touring, but the last 10 years. So, what can I say about this show? It was fantastic. First of all, I was sitting with a bunch of people. Of course, that's what happens in Dakota. You end up being on a table with people if you didn't buy the tickets at the table, because if it sells out or close to selling out. To my right was this woman, and then this guy she was with. They were both musicians, especially she was more of a singer type, I guess, but he was a music like a jazz musician himself. I was just having dinner. You have dinner there at the Dakota. That's half the reason you go. But it's the second time I've been at the Dakota. The first time earlier this year, I talked about this when I was seeing those medley kids. Joyce and I went to Dakota. I don't know how many times since COVID. Josh Rouse, maybe 3 times, at least twice. And I had gone to Dakota maybe when I saw Billy Cobham. Anyway, the food is expensive, but it's really good. But they had these garlic biscuits that they didn't have anymore. I was disappointed about that the first time I went to Dakota in January to see those medley kids. And they also didn't have the wedge salad that she loved when we went there. But they still have this burger, this smash burger that's just tasty. And then they have these cookies, these fresh baked chocolate chip cookies. So, which I'm gonna go to the Dakota again twice in the next few months. I'll make some a bit, but as far as the music goes, though, I mean, she was doing everything. She was obviously playing her bass and singing. Her band was fantastic. It was just a three-piece, I think. Guy who played guitar and then a drummer. But they did do Wayne Shorter piece that was really good. I forget which one of them was. Maybe When You Dream, Black Cold. And she covered a lot of her catalog, not everything, but Dancing the Animal, like I don't know how much of the stuff from a couple. I have the 12 Little Spells album right here, and so I brought this vinyl to get signed. I don't remember what song from 12 Little Spells she did. I don't know the track list. That's how great of an album it is to me. Touch in Mind is one of my favorites. She didn't do that, but Dancing the Animal, that's one of the ones that she did. Um, but it was just weird, and she got the audience to sing along and chant these patterns. I wish I had done this review right after the show because a lot of this would be more fresh in my mind. Unfortunately, I just didn't get around to it. But um, it was very kind of just moving. It was what jazz. It wasn't purely jazz. There was a lot of funk, um, but can be live where it breathes and the music and the songs go places. A lot of improvisation within certain keys, that kind of thing. Um, yeah, the other people next to me, this French guy and his wife, I guess, we were talking about Dean McGraw. They knew Dean McGraw, and this guy across me um, was a Monkees fan, or he knew this other woman, Foster. I forget her first name now. Kaylee Foster, something like that. Rita, I forget, but we were talking. I was telling him about Joyce and everything, like, her love of Monkees and music and stuff like that. But yeah, I would see her in a heartbeat again, even though the price what it was what it was. As much as it took me whatever about 10 years to see her, 9.5, whenever it was I got into her, it was like the fall of 2016. Um, she lived up. I mean, lived up to hype. In fact, that's maybe the best show I've seen since Joyce passed away live. I didn't go to Stephen Wilson. I had the tickets, but um. And transitioning on to the a little bit more detail on the Boy and Led show. They played the entire new record backwards. They had a group do bagpipes beforehand, walk out into the theater. It was at the Parkway Theater Saturday night, and they had the bagpipe people sat right behind us after that. My friend John and I. And they had an opener guy who I didn't catch all of his set. He used to be on KFAI, and he used to play with Prayer Home Companion. I forget his name, but he was playing like this guy named Spider John Kerner, and it was more lyrical. He was interesting. He was very good. But yeah, they and then they showed a little like video with the new maybe from the record from Boiled and Lead. But some of it was very epic. Some of it was very fast, kind of energetic. Um, but her name is Haley again. She really adds something. I mean, she's very energetic on the electric violin, and yeah, I was actually surprised how much I was. I haven't really thought about Blood and Lead in a long time. They played Do the Dean McGraw tribute. I saw them. I saw them one or two other times, but But yeah, it was an epic show at the Parkway. They did like two songs for the encore, and I mean, some of it was like Irish folk tunes, but some of them were more like rhythm based rock songs that had an Irish tinge to them. So John Wright worked with them. He engineered one of Todd Menton from Boy and Led's CDs, and I bought that, but I don't know what I did with what happened to it. So um, I can show these other things. So being in the widow community, you meet a lot of people, especially this group I know, this dating group. And one of them is this woman from she lives in Texas, but her late husband was from Canada actually. He moved back and forth, but he loved hockey, especially ice hockey. Go figure, he's from Canada. He's from I think Ontario or something like that. But anyway, so she was showing some of his jerseys. Like I want to show Joyce's Monkeys stuff for them at some point. I've been saying that for 9 months now, almost 8 months. Get that room in order. But I before we had the Minnesota Wild, the North Stars at one point had left, so I needed a team. I was playing NHL, and I've talked about that in my Sega video a few years ago, Genesis video, the video game. It's like a year ago, whenever that was. Um, I used to play with the Vancouver Canucks and Pavel Bure, so she had a Vancouver Canucks Pavel Bure sweater that she showed, and I said I'd take that off your hands. So even though they're kind of a little bit of a rival, they had become a little bit of a rival of the Minnesota Wild. So she sent me this one, and then there's just this black one. I think the Canucks colors or jerseys are different now, but I don't have these like the first hockey jerseys I've like ever had. I mean, I get hot in these things, but in the wintertime, it gets cold. I could have used it today because it was again in the 30s or yesterday. So, but a few more details, and then I'm gonna try to make the last of these videos about the Rock Hall. I The Deer Hunter Sunya came out. I've only listened to it one time. I like it. It's different. It's more kind of different from Antimine in a lot of ways. It's more it's fleshed out. The style is more fleshed out. Although I don't know how many hooks they're on, but only listened to it once. The whole thing with new music. I mean, I have to make an exception because I love the Deer Hunter so much. I did pre-order. I did order a copy on vinyl. I didn't get the whole bundle and stuff like that, but hopefully, if in Casey's case, sake for other reasons than the fans, that the records are going to be here soon. He doesn't have to stress out about it. It's like, when are they ever going to get their vinyl? Everything, their pre-order packages and everything. It wasn't a pre-order. Um, that's probably why they waited till now. It came out March 20th. I mean, it probably could have come out last year. Um, so I don't know if I'll do a proper review. I know Ian from I forget his name, Rhyme Signatures did a review, and I'm not competitive. I'm gonna do reviews. I just right now I'm just trying to figure out my life and doing. I don't even barely listen to like all these albums I haven't listened to. I need to go on a binge or something. It's just my time and energy and focus hasn't been about listening to new music like it used to be. I still pay attention. I want to. There's a new Muse album coming out in June, although Muse has been not what they once were, but they usually have a few songs, and I'll at least pay attention. I'll try to pay attention. But I'm going to be going to the Dakota twice in the next few months. One a week from, maybe 2 weeks from yesterday, on the 5th of April, to see Jane Seabury. Kevin Gilbert's, he covered the Taxi Ride. And I didn't even know about this, but Canadian singer-songwriter Jane Seabury, or Seabury, I wish I could know how it's pronounced. It's one of the two. I bought a bunch of her records, it was last year, I think, and I showed them. I found them used. But should be neat. Maybe I can talk to her a little if I can. I didn't get to talk to Esperanza. That was one of the. I didn't call it disappointing. The nice thing about the Dakota often is that just the acts don't have really. They can go in the backstage and stuff, but ultimately they're gonna have to come out. I didn't hang around forever. I hung around for like 20 minutes, 30 minutes, thinking that Esperanza would come out, and she didn't. I wanted to have her maybe sign my copy of 12 Little Spells, or Emily's D Plus Evolution. Or Janelle's, she's on this record, Electric Lady, or Exposure. I think she signed this, though. Yeah, she has that. This is the one she did. She made it live, but didn't happen, but maybe another time. But maybe Gene Seabury will be different, or Seabury. I think it's Seabury. But she's kind of like Oh, Kate Bush. I think I talked about that a little bit, like that singer songwriter. I wonder if she knows it. Francesca Gagnon, because she's from Canada, about the same age probably, maybe a little bit younger. But she came out in the '80s. Speckless Sky, I think, was the one. Anyway, I'm seeing her. I'm looking forward to that. And then the reason why I found out about that show is because on the Dakota's website, and I'd found out through an email or maybe through social media that Inara George of The Bird and the Bee is coming June 10th to Dakota. And Joyce and I had seen, in effect, it was labeled as Bird and the Bee, both at the Cedar Cultural Center, and that was like 20. I don't remember what year that was. 2017, maybe? I have to look at my concert list. And then again at the Turf Club in St. Paul, and that was a few years. That may have been 2018 or 2019. That was the funny thing is that some of my prog rock friends locally, Creighton was there, Ian, and Mark Z, they were all there, and she was just like sitting there like wondering why are these guys that are into prog rock like my husband at my show? Because Bird and the Bee musically are sort of more, you could say they're indie, but they have an R&B element. They did a whole album tribute to Hall and Oates, and then Van Halen evolved. And Joyce wasn't much for Van Halen, but that was right when we saw him on that tour. But she played and Nara played. I can't remember if she had a backing band but Greg Kirsten, who's the other half of the Bird and Bee, wasn't with her. I don't know if he ever has toured with her. He's kind of a big shot though. He produced Adele and like the Foo Fighters and some other people, but it's just Inara George again, and she's playing the Dakota on June 10th. So, but it's just labeled Inara George of billed as of the Bird and the Bee. But I'm looking forward to that. So, that's about it. And then I'm gonna try to do the last of these videos to uh, the big one, the Rock Hall rant that's been on the back burner. Just because my my habits, my time, my lifestyle per se to try to make some of these videos haven't been what it once. Try to write. I haven't been writing. Been so consumed by the widow Zoom, the dating Zoom, and just going places, and life happens per se in some ways. Life happens in other ways. Unfortunately, my cousin's husband, and but my job and all this other stuff. But just I'm trying to find time to squeeze in some of this stuff to do reviews. Hopefully, at some point, I'll get to normal and get upstairs, and then start doing that podcast at some point. Maybe I want to go to Hi-Fi Sound, and Noma or Nomia, to like bring some of these CDs or vinyl, probably more likely CDs that sound so good. I don't know if I'll bring Emily's D Plus Evolution to test out their speakers. That's what you can do there. I don't like Blood Moon from Apes and Androids or Pepe Deluxe's Queen of the Wave or the River Empires. Some of that stuff I might bring just to see, you could like hear what they sound like on those speakers. But yeah, like ASMR. I was just wondering about that. What that would be like on like a speaker system. You get the some guy said, and I was on the ASMR stream on Friday. He said, he thinks the lo-fi works better for ASMR, but my ASMR appointment was supposed to be a week the next Sunday, got delayed, canceled, rescheduled. It's going to be rescheduled with this woman, April. But anyway. All right, I'm going to get on to the other video, but thank you for watching, and we'll see you next time.